Matt-Trakker's gonna live the nation, and Spectrum's got such supervision. M.a.s.k is a mighty power that could save the day. M.a.s.k, no one knows what lies behind the mask charade. M.a.s.k, always riding out on Venom's trail. Comes to the laser rays, fire away.
Hey everybody, it's Bill from Matt-Trakker.com, and welcome to this episode of Behind the Mask. Now, I do tour reviews on here, mostly mask. Sometimes I deviate, but I'm going to get back on track here a little bit. I want to talk about one of the ones that you probably had when you were a kid, one of the few that you might have had when you were a kid, and that's Piranha. And I've talked about this before. Piranha was inexpensive at the time. Well, still expensive, but inexpensive compared to the other items. There's a episode that I did about Sears Wish Book, and went over some of the prices that they cost back then versus inflation. You can kind of get an idea of what you'd be getting today if you were paying those kind of inflation prices. Piranha was, I believe, $6.99, $5.99, around that range, and your parents could afford it. I'm not saying that you guys weren't rich or you were, but it made it a heck of a lot easier to get it and obtain it, in my opinion. So a lot of times whenever I talk to you guys as the fans, Piranha or Condor are usually the ones that are referenced first. So I think it's a cool dynamic, to be honest. It's two motorcycles that are the ones that you remember fondly because you had them first. Piranha, believe it or not, actually appeared in the most episodes by vehicle of 63, and Sly Rax was in 64 episodes. So that's a lot. It's a lot of coverage for Piranha. So not only was it one of the ones that was easy to afford, but it had the most screen time. Well, I don't know about the most screen time. Maybe that's another episode, how much screen time they get per episode. Oh, God. Oh, no. But I can't show you any clips because they get copyright, things on them. But, no, it's kind of amazing to think about that Sly Rax was one of the ones that really kind of led the way in this line. And I have the box here, so we're going to take a look at that first. Now this one here, my niece actually got me as a gift a little while ago. And you can see here, it's pretty good shape. It's got some bumps and bruises along the way. Not too bad. And some of you have asked how I have the boxes hanging on the wall. As long as you get a command strip and you put it on correctly, just kind of brush off any dust that's on there. Put it on and make sure that if you're trying to take it off, just pull the tab. If you pull the tab right, you're not going to ruin the box. I've tried it. It doesn't seem to have ruined anything that I've had so far. It's hanging. And just a matter of fact, my dynamo over there with my other two chili finds, I had that up there. That's how much I believed in it, but I brought it down just because it's sealed. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how much I believed in what I was doing. Now, if you ruin your box, I'm not responsible. But just be careful with it, and you'll be okay. I can't promise, but I promised myself that I would be okay. And for those of you who ever wondered, I used to get a pouch like this inside the box with the instructions and the little comic, if the comic came here, and the stickers. So the stickers on mine were applied already, so it's not a big deal. But since I have the instruction, which I normally don't have, I'm going to show you this too. Front and back. And then inside. One of the things I'm trying to add to the website is the instructions. So if you're ever browsing there and you see that I don't have it listed, if you have it and have some, some nice shots of it, send them on over. I would love to be able to display it. I'll give you credit for it. It's not a problem. I do have at least one person right now sending me box art and things of that nature, so I really appreciate that, and I'm going to be getting to that soon. But yeah, let's dive into Piranha. Well, can't dive into Piranha without talking about Sly Rax first. So naturally, you had with Series 1, you had the short mask, and then the long mask. They got lost. People were choking on them. Take it for whatever whatever way you want to look at it. The long mask covers up a lot of detail. Dave and I talked about this actually in our episode where we're doing a tier list with the figures. The long mask really does take a lot of detail away from some of these figures. So, and this is one that definitely kind of suffers from that. But it's a pretty good rendition of Sly Rax. I mean, it's a well designed figure. And without the long mask being a factor, you're looking at one of the better ones, I think. The vehicle itself, it's a motorcycle with a sidecar, and I always loved this because I'd always picture myself, an Indiana Jones movie, essentially. The Last Crusade, I think, is one. Is it the one with Sean Connery? Yeah, the one with Sean Connery. Yep, that's it. So I always pictured myself in The Last Crusade, like this is what I would see in like picture. I know it's weird. But you have a motorcycle that detaches, and then the sub goes into the water. One of the harder parts to find on this is the windshield. For some reason, we all took it off when we were kids. I don't know why. But I'm going to show you the transformation here real quick. And, well, this one's in pretty good shape. I have another one here. Not in the best shape. So I'm going to show you how this ejects first. Normally, as you know, something breaks when I do something. So I'm going to hold it up. I'm going to try and catch it and hope I don't break my monitor. I'll go this way so you can see it. All right. Yeah, got it. It's got a pretty good launch. I just want to make sure I didn't break something. You know the show by now. I've broken so many things by accident. So, yeah, it launches off. And then you have the sidecar and the motorcycle. Now, the motorcycle portion of it is technically kind of fused in there, but you can pull this apart to use it just as a motorcycle. In the cartoon, I don't remember if it ever was used that way, where it was detached, where somebody was driving the motorcycle and somebody was in the sub. If you know that offhand, let me know in the comments. I can't think of an instance where that actually happened though. But because of this too, this would also kind of get lost. You could lose the launcher. And you can see how Sly sits in here. The one thing I forgot to show you on the sub is the guns here. These stay in along with these fins on the side until you launch it, and then they come out. So like when you're in the water, it would be a part of the attack portion of it. So here's how you look at it as Sly driving. Not too bad. And then let's get Sly in the sub. Fits right in there. Kind of reminds me, was it Voltron? Isn't there like a coffin or something from Voltron? Or Beetlejuice, I know that, but I think there was one for Voltron. But yeah, not too bad. So if you're going to collect this, if you're going to get it in your collection loose, number one, you're going to pay about $35-40 with shipping. Short mask, same, it's all going to be about the same. There's no real big difference between the short mask price and a long mask price that I found anyway. But I've seen the windshield to sell for like $15. So think about it in those kind of areas. Think about, you know, what is worth? Worth is what you pay for it. So if you feel like that's fine to go with, please do. You don't have to. And I've seen them boxed, sealed, go for about $250, $200, give or take. As I said earlier, even though there were a lot of them out there, we didn't really keep them in the boxes. We got them and ripped them apart and played with them that way. So it's harder to find Series 1 in the boxes than you are going to find Split Seconds or the Racing Series. So keep that in mind too. Again, worth is what you pay for it. If I was going to be collecting the boxes, I'd be comfortable like 110 to 150, give or take, depending on how many were available. I think that's pretty fair price point. But again, worth means different things to other people. So if you see one that you really want, it costs a little bit more, think about if you want to pay that a little bit extra. It's up to you. But what are your thoughts on Piranha? It's one of my favorites, to be honest. And again, if you're going to start recollecting, start here. Start with Piranha, start with Condor. Those are the two that I recommend. And then Billboard Blast goes last. Just make sure you keep that rhyme in your head. I just made it up. That might be the next shirt that I do. But no, it's one that you should kind of start with. And even if you just want to have a really small collection, this is one of the ones that really help it make it stand out and one of the more iconic pieces. So again, if you have any questions about Piranha, if you have any comments about it, itself, what were your memories of it? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, please like, comment, and subscribe to help keep m.a.s.k alive. And this is Bill from Matt-Trakker.com, and I'll talk to you later.
Spectrum's got such super